Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Calvary Prep Podcast. I'm your host, Gabriel Woodcock. If you're unfamiliar with the podcast, what we're going to do is each month interview a student from the CPA community, ask them questions about their life, hobbies, and whatever else may spring up in the conversation. So, we did this last year, but it was under a different name. I believe last year it was called Mission Cast. We're branching out a bit more this year, and instead of just interviewing missionaries, we're going to be interviewing just anybody that seems interesting and would like to share about stories or their talents. So for the first episode of this podcast, what better person to interview than the former host from last year? So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome William Miyazaki.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Even with a literal 10-hour time zone difference, thank you for fitting it into your schedule.
Look, I mean, honestly, a 10-hour time zone difference is what I've come to be used to after a few years in CPA. So it's nothing.
Awesome. Well, I have a couple questions here. The first being, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know William, he graduated last year. He's now all grown up and everybody misses him. But during your time at CPA, what was your favorite part? It could be literally anything. Just your favorite part about being at CPA.
Oh, honestly, I there's a whole lot of things, but I think the thing that stands out the most is the people, especially because we're in online school and that we couldn't actually hang out in person. I think it's ever the more I think a strong factor because we have to try to stay connected, right? It's
Mhm.
not like you're gonna walk into school and just meet people and be like, "Hey, how are you?" You actually have to make an effort to stay connected, and that effort I found was something that really makes your relationships stronger. And yeah, I still have a lot of plans to eventually go out and meet all my friends that I've made during high school and middle school. So, yeah, I think the people of CPA is the best thing about it.
Yeah, and that's so true what you said too, because I mean, I've never really been to a public school, but for being at a school where, you're around people but online, it's so true what
Mhm.
you said about you have to make sure that you're staying connected, like you're making that effort. So, I mean,
Yeah,
everybody,
and it's definitely worth it.
yes, yes, exactly. Like everybody at CPAs, uh, it's just such a great community.
Yeah, everyone's unique.
Yeah. All right. So our next question is, what was your greatest achievement while at CPA? It doesn't have to be like an academic award, just like your greatest personal achievement.
Oh gosh, making it alive. No, let me think. Um, Greatest achievement. I don't know. Because a lot of the times I was just trying um to finish the semester strong, so I didn't really think about the school years as a whole. But looking back, I think one of the hmm, I'm sorry, this is taking forever. But I think one of the talent shows was my greatest achievements. And because actually no, Spirit Month, oh gosh, we did a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, Spirit Month and Talent Show, they're very similar. So,
Yeah, Spirit Month was pure fun. I enjoyed that. And especially seeing Lori's videos, Rachel's videos, and oh yeah, of course your videos. Those are great. Um, yeah, I had so much fun doing that. So being able to be a part of that, that was a great achievement. And also I loved the talent show because that actually had a great effect on the CPA community in the sense that we were able to raise funds, a lot of funds. I think
mhm.
one of the years we raised like $11,000.
Yeah, that sounds about
Um,
right.
yeah. So I think that created a lot of opportunities for people too. But overall, I would say my greatest achievement was back in seventh grade when I started joining the leadership team as the public relations officer. Yeah, because without that, a lot of this wouldn't have started. Like, I wouldn't have been able to be a part of the CBA community as much. So, yeah, definitely, I would say being able to join the leadership team at such a young age, that's definitely my greatest achievement.
All right, I'm just gonna make a notice here. This background, it's not exactly professional. It's all just kind of, coming together. It's a work in progress, this podcast. So, since I have a professional in the room, someone who's had experience in the podcasting realm, what would be some of your tips for a junior podcaster like me, or anybody else at CPA who'd maybe be interested in taking over one day, or just starting their own podcast?
Um, don't black out like me because right now my mind is blanking out so much. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to say? Um, but honestly, I think the most important thing mm, would be to not really be concerned about the numbers of people watching. I would say, like, just do it for yourself and the few group of friends that want to watch it and be like, oh yeah, this is for you guys. And it's also for anybody who wants to watch it. And that way you're not stressing, like, oh gosh, people stopped watching at this mark right here. Because that happened during my first podcast. And I'm like, wait, people clicked off at this point. Was it not working? But honestly, if you're not doing podcasting as a job, then yeah, you really just have nothing to worry about other than make sure you're having fun and you're not, doing anything illegal and or hurting other people.
Yes,
So
yes, definitely.
yeah. And also, you're already in a great position right now because um, for everyone watching on audio, Gabriel has a really cool audio setup right now. And he has his mic and his headset, and it looks great.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, I think
Awesome.
you've got everything covered.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but that's some good advice too. Just like kind of just um oh my gosh, of course my mind is blanking too. But just kind of reemphasizing what you said a second ago, just not worrying about, when people click off or how many people are watching. Like, because while you are doing this for an audience, it's not, it's at the end of the day not the most important thing. Like, the most important thing is just bringing out members of the community who might have not had the opportunity, or just weren't willing to make that next step to show their talents and whatever else to the rest of the school. So for everyone who does watch the video, great. But it's just about having fun and getting to meet cool people. So I really like that advice.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that advice for this podcast. This podcast is very important. And anybody who clicks off this podcast, you are in big trouble and you should not be a part. I'm gonna get
he's
canceled.
he's he's kidding. He's kidding. But seriously, like, these podcasts are going to be a lot of fun. Just try and stick around if you have the opportunity. Yeah. But
Yeah, for real, because this community is amazing. And through Gabriel's podcast, I'm not sure who's going to be involved just yet, but I'm really excited to see all the podcasts that come out.
yeah, I mean, yeah, stick around. I mean, I'd always love to have you back on the show, but I'm going to be putting this on a YouTube channel, so if you ever want to, just pop in and see who we're interviewing for the month, it's right there. So, yeah. Um
All right.
awesome. I have one last question, but this thing that I'm using to capture the audio right now, uh,
Hmm.
I'm on free trial, and every 20 minutes it stops, and we're almost at that 20-minute mark. So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back, just so that I can reset the trial. Like, again, this is a
Okay.
work in progress, but I'm working to get the paid version so we don't have to have these breaks. So I'll be right back.
No, this is an ad break. So we'll be right back.
Yeah, yes. All right, and we're back. Sorry about that. We got the free trial thing fixed. And now there should be no white noise clogging up the speakers and absolutely destroying your ears. So, with that, let's continue on to the fourth and final question I have for you. So, what advice, as a graduated student, would you give to any students watching this? And then emphasis on students. Like, I'm I'm kind of like meaning more from um a scholarly my
Go on,
mind
try again.
yes, a scholarly standpoint, just like any school advice, because CPA, it's an online school, and I imagine a lot of people coming to CPA aren't necessarily acquainted with that system. So would you have any advice for new students or struggling students?
Yeah, so two things actually, and I think they boil down to one. But the first thing I would say is to make sure you have a schedule.
Mhm.
And because I'm a pretty big planner, but I wasn't always a great planner, so I would just jumble all the things I had in like the last minute, and that never works out well. Like, of course, you're probably gonna get through the quiz decently fine, but once you get to the CST, it's gonna crumble apart. So I would not recommend doing that, especially looking at the long term. And also, your teachers tend to be understanding even if you do have late work. So obviously, they're gonna have to do what they have to do, like take down your grade for a while. But you know, I think it's part of it. It's better than just rushing it through and ruining your test grades. So yeah, that's one thing. You just really have to make sure that you have a schedule beforehand and that you'll be able to stick to that. So just make sure it's not too strenuous and have breaks in between. And yeah, find some YouTube audios that kind of helps you relax, like whether that's lo-fi, I don't know how to say that.
Lo-fi?
Lo-fi, okay, yeah, lo-fi music, or for me, it was like the Iron Man soundtrack that was just playing in the background for 2 hours. Uh,
Nice.
but yeah, just find yourself a place that you can relax and focus on, and you should be fine. But the second thing is to definitely go to the office hours. And if you are a student overseas, that might be a little bit hard because the time zone difference is going to mess you up a little bit. But yeah, just make a schedule and see which office hours that you can go to. And once you have that set, I think you're pretty much set. Just set up your alarm clock as well.
Nice. Guys, this is advice from a seasoned expert. Don't take this lightly. Like,
Yeah, no, I'm a seasoned expert.
like that's all super good advice. Def a most definite yes on the setting up a schedule because um yeah, like I mean personally, I'm a big procrastinator and I can forget also. So setting up a schedule has been so beneficial because I will, forget to attend workshops or study for this, blah blah blah. So yeah, what William just said about making a schedule, like if you haven't already, you should probably do that as soon as possible. And then your second part about don't rush things. Guys, the quizzes might be multiple choice, but do not let that fool you. I'm sure you can agree to this, William.
Yeah, just wait for the practices. Like, oh gosh.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely make sure to study. Take your time. Um, because I've realized that I can take my time studying for something and it still won't take me as much time as me rushing, but then also getting distracted by watching YouTube or something. So yeah, I mean it's school. So, it might not be fun at times, but take your time, you'll get through it.
Mm.
So great
Yeah,
advice, William.
And by the way, we're not sponsored or held at gunpoint by CPA to say this. This is just like pure
Mm-mm.
advice.
Yes, just advice for all the students better being.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, that's all I had for questions.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. So, yeah, I think that'll wrap up today's episode. So, again, thank you so much for fitting this into your schedule, William. I know you've like got a job now and, all of that crazy life stuff. So, just the fact that you scheduled this with me, that we were able to do this was really awesome. So, thank you.
Dude, I'm honored. Like, thank you. And yeah, good luck with the rest of your podcasts. And I'll be having my post notifications on for that.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. If everybody could just, give William a round of applause. Just imagine everybody watching, clapping for you right now.
Just imagine me bowing for a second and waving my hand.
Yes. Awesome. Well, yeah, hopefully I'll see you around soon. And again, you're always welcome back onto the podcast. So thank you for your time and I'll see you later, dude.
Thank you. I'll see you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that will wrap up today's episode. That was William Miyazaki. He gave such great advice. We had a awesome time just talking about CPA and a former student's experiences and tips. If you enjoyed this episode, please stick around for the next ones. We're going to be doing one every month. They're going to be so much fun. We're going to get the entire community involved. Thank you to everybody watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.